In the first video where we talked about SQL injection, I discussed the idea that maybe the table that we have a SQL injection doesn't have anything that's particularly interesting from an information disclosure perspective, and we may want to try to get data from other tables. So in this video, I'll answer the question of how do we get data from other tables? And the answer to that question is typically with a union. A union is basically a way of combining two tables in SQL. It's kind of like a join, but we don't need a column to actually join on. So with a join, we would have to have a foreign key relationship or some sort of key that we could join between the two tables. With a union, we don't need to do that. With a union, we just say take all the data from this table, take all the data from this table, smash all the results together. That's basically the result, right? So that's how a union is generally going to work. So I'll show this as an example with this main database that I have right here, right? So we'll take a look at, say, we have this customer table, and we also have this payment table. So I'm going to query these two tables. We'll take a look at what kind of data is in both of them, right? We have the customer ID, store ID, customer details in the customer table, and then payment has a different set of information. It has like some amounts, some customer IDs, payment IDs, all that good stuff, right? So the idea with a union is basically that after the from clause, I can add in the union keyword to combine these two tables together. Now, it's not quite that simple because when I do this, you're going to see that the query for union needs to ensure that both tables have the same number of columns. So customer and payment currently have different numbers of columns, right? So to get these to union, we would have to have them have the same number of columns. And to show this, I'm going to just go ahead and grab two columns here, and we'll grab two columns here. And we'll just take a look at what happens. So say customer ID, let's say store ID, right? So when I have just two columns, you see that when I do the union, those two columns get combined together and we get the whole group of both of those tables, right? So those are the main things to keep in mind with union. We need to have the same number of columns between the two tables, and that's really basically all, right? So we need some sort of way of figuring out how many columns are in the two tables, and then we need to be able to use that for the actual union itself. So let's take a look at how we can make that happen with an example. You'll see here that I've got my example open right here. We'll see that this is a similar SQL injection to what we saw in the first video, where we can click on different categories and we get different pieces of information, right? So with this example here, we remember that we were able to do this kind of closing quote, and then we were able to do this 1 equals 1, and then we were able to put in a comment at the end of it. We were able to get a SQL injection to happen. Now you'll see in this example here that we essentially are getting an internal server error, right? So in this case, we have a syntax error. It tells us that there probably is some sort of vulnerability inside of this, right? So we have the or 1 equals 1, right? Just like this. And you see that when I do this, I get all of the results inside, right? So you see when I type it in correctly, I don't get a syntax error, I get all of the results. Now, like I said, this information isn't really that interesting from an information disclosure perspective, right? There's nothing really vulnerable inside of this. So we want to try to do a union. First thing we need to figure out is how many columns are between these tables that we have available to us. So in this case, I have my first query, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, put a closing quote here. I'm going to put in my union, right? So I'll do a union, and I'm going to do a select, and I'm going to select just some text. Just like this, right? So I'm going to say select that. I'm going to put my closing comment, just like this. And you see that when I do that, I get an internal server error. That tells me that probably the number of columns didn't match, right? The reason that I know that is because it gave me an error. I know that I get an error in the case where, well, the columns aren't matching in terms of a union, right? So that would tell me that information, that there isn't enough columns. So from here, we simply just keep increasing the number of columns. And our hope is that after a while, we don't get an error, we actually get a result. And we see that we do indeed get that result right here. So that tells us that there are two columns inside of the initial query that we have. So at this point, we just need to union two columns from a different table, and we've got our results. Now, there are a lot of different ways to do this, right? There are database tables in most SQL databases that will contain information about all the tables that exist inside of a database. We could union into that and capture, the different tables that exist to try to find one that's interesting. In this example here, I see my account is available. And as a lucky kind of guess, I could say, well, my account probably has a users table, right? That would make a lot of sense that we would have a users table. So maybe what we could do instead of that A, B, C, D, E, F is we could go ahead and select, say, username and maybe we get lucky with password, right? That might be something that we could try. So we'll grab that from users, and let's see what happens. You can see here that we do get the indeed username and passwords, right? So we see that these are actually displayed to us. This is an example of how we can leverage a SQL injection to get data from different tables. This is an information disclosure. This would be a very high level on a CVSS score. This would be pretty critical to get resolved. So this is an example of how you could turn one of those basic little SQL injections into something that's a lot more severe and substantial. Now, in this example here, we would probably want to take this a little bit further and say, well, we don't know if this is actually the password of the administrator. It'd be kind of interesting just to see, is that actually the password of the administrator, or is it like a hash? In this case, it actually is just the password. So it being stored as plain text is also a vulnerability. So there's really two vulnerabilities for one right here. We have a SQL injection. We have passwords being stored in plain text. Both of those are very bad. So in this case here, we would have a lot of vulnerabilities to report, probably a nice bug bounty as a result. So you see in this example, we authenticated as administrator through our SQL injection using the union query. So this is just another example of how to gather data out of a table using a SQL injection. So thanks so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.